It's a really powerful play because what it does is it shows you that actually what you see as a great big problem is loads and loads of individual decisions and loads of individual decisions that can be taken differently. So what the play does, it shows that it gives the power back to everybody. People in the street, people sat on reception, police officers, service users. It's all about a chain of decisions that either goes the right way or the wrong way, and the play really brilliantly brings that home. I think it's about awareness. So the council has thousands and thousands of workers out there across Birmingham, and we come across citizens every day of the week. It's our core business, and a lot of those citizens will have mental health issues, and so if we can raise awareness and train those people that come into contact, then you can stop some of those bad decisions being made. And similarly with the councillors as well, there's 120 councillors in Birmingham serving the whole of Birmingham, and we're constantly talking to our residents, and a lot of times mental health is part of the problem that is playing out, and the more we know about it, and that's why 300 voices is so important, because it empowers us with knowledge, the more we can make those right decisions.
Actually, it's reinforced my views on mental health. My brother had Pick's disease, which is the frontal, it's disintegration of the brain at the front. And so I've been aware of the stigma, and this was 10 years ago when there was virtually no support or help for my brother. It's actually reinforced my view and perception of mentally ill. I've dealt with the public in many fields, and there is one default thing I would say to everybody: you listen to people, and does people always have a reason? And if you stop and listen, you usually find the reason. I think the council, I've looked at the overview and scrutiny committee report that's out today on this issue, and I think what the council should be doing, I think they are doing, is trying to make sure all the agencies concerned with an issue are involved and it's coordinated. Funny enough, yesterday I had a constituent phone me. Her father has dementia, she's convinced the mother has mental health problems and is abusing the father, and is not getting very much help. I phoned up social services, the duty team straight onto it, and it seemed to be that housing department weren't dealing with it, the GP wasn't dealing with it, social services got it all on board. But it was only yesterday I had somebody who has felt they were not getting the support from the community. They've got the position, and they've got the resources, and they've got the knowledge to ensure there's a good coordination from all the agencies involved.
Well, the play, it was very good. The layout of the play was very good in terms of telling a story, and a chronological story, because a lot of the time you don't often understand the background as to people's mental health, and a lot of people go up to someone and with a lot of prejudged ideas about someone's condition or how they behave because of their own preconceived ideas, and so the play allowed the story to develop, knowing a background story, and that's what's really needed more than anything else, is an understanding of background, because everyone has walked in different footsteps, different paths through life, and we don't truly understand what everyone else has been through, so that kind of understanding helps how we treat mental health and how we can go forward with offering the services. So I think the play absolutely hit the nail on the head with how we understand backgrounds to how we go forward with a service. Well, I think a lot of the time the council already have quite a lot of structures and services in place, but the problem is people don't know about them, people don't know how to access them, and a lot of people don't actually want to go forward and access them because they don't feel they have the confidence to do that. So the problem is we need to make sure that it's more accessible, people understand it, but the stigma away from accessing services is exposed, and people don't feel as if they're becoming a burden upon the council to it. So we have to deal with the stigma, and the way to do that is to talk about it, have a greater understanding, do what we've done here today and talk about it openly, and I think that's a key way of going forward, with allowing the council to operate what it already does to help people who have mental health.
Very interestingly, because of our responsibilities here, one of which I carry is a member of the Police and Crime Commissioner panel, and I'm going to raise the issue of whether there is sufficient training in mental health issues for officers to be concerned about, because what we've heard today pretty much implicates a lack of knowledge causing extra problems that needn't occur.
I had a lot of understanding about mental health issues before I saw the play.
But the impact it's had on me is the importance of partnerships together, the importance of how people treat each other, because so many people have mental health issues, so many people have mental illnesses, and so when you're dealing with or talking to anyone or communicating with anyone, it's important that you communicate with people and you listen to people, and you make sure that you listen to their point of view. And that was something that really came out very strongly to me, that some of the characters had not been listened to. They not felt that they could communicate, and that's so important, and it's so important to get involved. The 300 Voices is very important as a project because it teaches people what mental health is all about, the effect on mental illness, and again, the lessons about communication, about talking to people, about listening to people. So that project is very important for Birmingham City Council, because if you think about it, how many people does Birmingham City Council communicate with? How many people do they offer services to or provide services to? So we are a great provider, we're a great communicator, we're a great solver of problems within the council with our partners. So that's why 300 Voices is so important for us as a city council.
I was absolutely intrigued by the play. I didn't do a lot of talking during the play because I wanted to hear what other councillors had to say. But for me, the central character was Carlton. How was he really being listened to? How long did it take him to be heard so that he did get the help and support he should have got? You see, today I was so impressed by the calibre of councillor that came, because across the city we see and deal with people with mental health issues. We have social services issues, we deal with educational issues, and all of these, they have issues around mental health within them. As councillors, for me, what I wanted from today is to raise awareness that we have got mental health issues out there, and sometimes as councillors, not what you're being told. You must always look behind what people sometimes say.
So it was a brilliant presentation. I saw the first presentation in the drum and it just raised so many issues that are of such importance. And the biggest issue, which the question I wanted to ask you there, was who has actually listened to you, Carlton, through your life? Who's talked to you? Because you can, if only you work with somebody all the way through, somebody who he could go and trust, you'd be far better off in the situation. But as far as the council goes, I'm really impressed by the way that the services are beginning to gel together. So you're getting people talking to each other, not acting as silos, not separate. So you get a different take on things. And the triage team, the street triage team, is a fantastic move forwards. The MASH, again, with mingling different professionals together, is a fantastic means, a way of moving things forward. So I think the council has a really important part to play, but we must communicate better with outside agencies.
I think actually the play was really, really good in understanding each other's perceptions, really. You don't know what's going on with that officer, you don't know what's going on with the nurse, and you don't know the history with the service user either. And having that understanding of what was going through their mind during that scenario actually gives you a way of talking it through so that you can then engage with people and actually have a better understanding of why things have happened, but actually work where things could go better. So actually, do we need loads of police officers who mark cars with blue lights and sirens going up to people? We don't really. And that's part of what we do. We're trying to decriminalise mental health. People haven't done anything wrong, they're actually just unwell. So they don't need to be tackled to the floor, they don't need to be put in handcuffs, they don't even need to be going anywhere near a police station. They need to be going to a place of safety, and they need to be dealt with dignity and respect, and that is what triage is all about. Decriminalising it, sending everybody else away, and then triage taking that role on and doing the best thing for the patient and signposting them more appropriately to whatever's going to help them the most.
With LouDeemY Productions, we were commissioned by 300 Voices to make a well, you wrote the piece.
Essential. I think it's no question of that they need to be. They really do need to take take on board everything that's being done and get as involved as many of the council as can be involved to be involved at like a really high level.
Yeah, very important, especially at planning stages of what they're doing. If they have an understanding of what's actually happening out there from their what they call the people out there that are voting for them, and so if they can deliver what the people need, and that's all good then.
And asking the right questions, like one of the councillors asked the characters and then came and was speaking to us after about where we thought that service user centres should be, and that's a really important question, because he was saying that wherever they're planned for, there will always be people who object to it. And I guess it's really good to ask those questions and then to look at problem solving, where you don't put centres where it's convenient because people aren't going to complain. You actually do something to educate those people who are objecting so that they don't object. I said to him I'd be quite happy for a centre to be like next door to my house, but I know a lot of people don't feel that, and most of it's fear and ignorance. So, but if you're asking the question, then you can start looking for
that's
answers.
the whole point for the project. I mean, the reason people are objecting for those is stigma, and if we can knock out the stigma, then it won't matter where the centres are. And
last question, just get the cameras there. How do you feel right now?
Actually, very good.
Really, really inspired. Drama does always work, but you never know if you're addressing controversial issues, whether people might not want to engage because it's a bit too close. Because everything in the piece is from real stories and real experiences. But the fact that everybody just was so engaged, and the way that they engaged in the Forum Theatre after, so really inspired.
Yeah, the reaction from them, really on a high going out. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
It was good to see the councillors so engaged in what we're doing. It's nice to know that they support 300 Voices and the outcomes that we're hoping to achieve. It's interesting that a lot of the questions that came from the councillors were surrounding the attitudes of staff towards the service user. That's key for me, because actually a lot of the time it's about the training that we could be giving to communities. That's what a lot of the questions are around. So, how are we going to engage with schools and colleges and so forth, which is equally as important. But it's good to see that actually there could be training in-house that we could do to better accommodate for service users from various cultural backgrounds. It's great stuff, really good, really enjoyed it.